One.
You see, life finds a way. You know? You find it. You find it.
That was very confusing for a sec.
It
It
shouldn't
took
be.
it took
Like,
me a
it's
little. It
the
took me a
first
little.
movie.
I know, but it took me a little bit. Whenever I hear somebody doing a cappella of any kind of theme, I always have to stop for a little bit and
Yeah.
kind of like go, "Oh, well, what was that?" Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I like life finds a way. Like when something random happens, like I don't understand how that can happen or that can
Like,
do that thing. I'm like, life finds a way.
yeah. Anyway, welcome to the Health Potion, everybody, for our very, very large audience that we have. Very large. You know, they hold a parade every time we release one of these.
We have our own expo.
Seriously, yeah.
It's
In,
amazing.
yeah, in some, I don't know. Where is it? Where's our expo again?
Um, uh, Pawnee,
Pawnee.
Michigan.
Oh, okay. That's something. So anyway, today's show, we're going to be talking about, oh god. You're probably going to see a very negative side of me for this show, particularly what we're going to talk about first. I don't know how to lead into this. Okay, so you probably reacted more positively to Jurassic World than I did, and I know, and I agree with a lot of the problems you had with it. But
Yeah.
what what was your overall opinion on Jurassic World?
My overall opinion of Jurassic World is, I mean, it sounded right. I felt they had the sounds down. Like the dinosaurs sounded like dinosaurs correctly. Uh, I mean, the look of the movie looked pretty good. Or like CGI aside, I didn't see any animatronics. They said they used animatronics. I didn't see any animatronics in
There
it.
was
So,
one animatronic.
well, God, you can't just. Yeah, that bothers me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like the dinosaurs look super fake. There's a couple of moments where like they did like a close up on like a foot, and you're like, oh my God, is that a dinosaur? When they're in the park, and then it like zooms out, and it's like a bird that's super CGI'd. Like it looks obviously fake, and it just really threw me off. And I was
It's like Kingdom of
okay,
the Crystal Skull
like
again.
I was gonna like talk. I was just gonna shrug it off, but like then there was just like a lot of other weird CGI going on. Okay, so my overall opinion of the movie is I thought the movie was okay. I didn't think it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it did what it set out to do, which is pretty much like relaunch like the movie franchise because it's already getting another one. It made more than Avengers: Age of Ultron, so it's made its money back. But I'm hoping that Spielberg directs the next one because I thought Spielberg was doing this one. Apparently he didn't, and good God, I mean,
you can tell.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's really I hate it when someone takes on a movie franchise, or like we get like a new movie franchise coming out, like the prequels and other things like that are just CGI to hell, and you can see it clear as day, and you're just like, wow, I'm not immersed in this movie. I mean, there's other things that I feel are wrong with it. I feel things that are like played out and stupid. Like there's some things that like if you listen or follow the Nostalgia Critic, he mentions there's three really awesome things about the movie. Like one being the introduction of the park, two or like I can't remember the third thing, but he said like the dinosaur fights were cool and stuff like that. But there was seriously other things that like bothered me about the movie when I was watching it that just didn't make any sense, or either that it was introduced and I just never noticed it because they didn't make me care enough. But I don't know. I know that like your solid opinion is that you actually hate the movie.
Yeah, I really, really hate this movie so much. And I'm usually not. I want to make this clear. I'm usually nice when it comes to movies. I don't know. Maybe it's because my standards are just so. I don't know. It's weird because I've never reacted. I very rarely ever react super negative to something that I see. Usually I'm just indifferent to something. Like, even if something really isn't working with me, it's usually just out of indifference. And I just go, well, I was okay, or whatever. This, Jurassic World, it pushes all of my buttons that I have. I'm like literally, besides one thing, I'm genuinely struggling to find anything that I even found remotely tolerable about it. And I will admit, I had very low expectations going into it. I did not like the trailers. I really was not all that convinced. I completely agreed with Joss Whedon when he said that he found that clip that they released was really fucking stupid and sexist as hell. And I thought, yeah, it really is.
Which one was that?
The one where Chris Pratt has like the first conversation with Bryce Dallas Howard, where he makes statements and jokes that would get anybody in an office sued for sexual harassment. And it's supposed to be funny because it's Chris Pratt, and I'm just thinking, wow, what a fucking asshole. And I love Chris Pratt, but he did nothing for me in this movie. I thought he was kind of bad. Well, it's not. To be fair, it's not his fault. It's the script, and this is
also like, I mean, if the script is bad, if the director is bad, then the actors. Because I mean, if the actors are directed to do a particular thing, that's what they're gonna do.
Exactly.
I mean, look at the Star Wars prequels. There's a lot of really good actors there that just came off terrible.
Yeah, that are just boring. But I feel like, I don't know, man. Just the way this is getting received by all these people saying it's like a great return to a solid franchise. I feel like the people that complained about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, anybody that complains about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and then goes in and finds this acceptable, I feel like they should hand in their nostalgia card. Because
it's not even that, but they need to remember that, like, the Jurassic Park sequels weren't that great either. The only one that I actually liked was Lost World. I thought that one was okay.
I'm the exact opposite. I like 3. I like 3 quite a bit. It's the Lost World that I have a problem with. But granted, I haven't seen any of the original trilogy in a number of years. It's just from memory that I really didn't like Lost World, and I really like 3. In fact, I probably have more nostalgia value for 3 than I do for the original. And because I didn't really grow up with the original. I saw the original more when I was around 11 or 12. And I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was good, but it didn't blow me away like a lot of other Spielberg films. But after World, oh man, there's so much about that movie that I appreciate now. Just so much.
Well, let's not mention the fact that they spent a bulk of the movie just trying to repeat the same tropes from Jurassic Park, the very first one, because
shot for
people that don't know, basically this Jurassic World is making the assumption that The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 never happened. So there was only the first movie.
Which I can understand because it doesn't make any sense that they would open a park like.
Well, yeah, after a T-Rex was walking all around in the freaking city in the second movie.
Yeah, which that's not my problem with it. I really don't have a problem with them discarding 2 and 3 as long as it works to a purpose, which it does, which is fine. And I genuinely don't notice this, but my problems with the movie started from, I don't know, like the very first minute. I mean, after the opening scene with the eggs, which was fine. Actually, I don't know.
CGI to hell again.
Yeah, the CGI, I was like, oh god,
I mean,
that looks
if
terrible.
you go back and you watch the original Jurassic Park, when the raptor was being born with the egg, basically it was cracking through it, it was getting out a little bit, and like they kind of had to help it a little bit to break out of its shell. Whereas this one was just like, boom, pops a hand out, and you could see an eye coming out, and you're like, oh my god, it's a raptor baby. And it's like, okay.
And then there's that bird that you talked about, and I went, oh my god, it's that fucking gopher from, it's the gopher and the monkeys from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull again.
Yeah, where it's like so obviously fake. Yeah. Where it's like, even for CGI standards, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen realer CGI on other stuff that's supposed to be obviously fake.
Okay, and then we get some establishment about these, and then right away the kids annoyed the shit out of me. I fucking hated these kids. These kids are just, they got nothing on the kids from the first movie.
Why the hell is a 13-year-old, like, in modern times right now, using one of those little viewfinders I used back in the early 90s? I mean, come on. What the hell? I didn't know they still made those. And
then you got that one precocious kid that just wants to spit out all these facts about dinosaurs. And it's like, kid, shut the hell up. Nobody fucking cares.
Which is literally, he's almost literally a carbon copy of the kid from the first Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah. And then it goes, oh my god, I'm going through like a... Seriously, dude, if you were to... This is one of those movies where if you were to sit me down in front of an audience and play the movie behind me, I would literally be pausing every 10 seconds to talk about something wrong or something that they do, that they fuck up. So, I don't know. Okay, so right away they introduced this idea that these kids are being whisked away to Jurassic World to, like, a vacation so that the parents can go through a divorce.
I didn't even get that. I mean, the thing is, I don't know. I didn't get that subtext at all. So the first time I even understood that the parents were supposed to be getting a divorce was when they were on the tram and the little kid was like, "Mom and Dad are going to get a divorce," and he starts crying or whatever. And I'm like, where the fuck did this come from?
Yeah.
Like, literally, I was confused. I was like, wait, are the parents getting a divorce? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know if that's just, like, them doing a bad job of explaining it, or...
A horrible job of explaining it. It's... Well, they want to give these subtle hints, which I actually did catch up on. I did catch up. What the fuck? Catch up? Catch on to. God damn it. Where the dad says something shitty and then the mom has to go, why do you have to say something like that? I kind of got the hint that, okay...
I thought it was just, like, playful banter between the parents, and they're like, okay, kids,
The mom looked annoyed, and I thought, okay, there's something going on between these two. They're probably in the middle of... Maybe they're sending the kids away to work on their marriage, or maybe they're way to get a divorce. And then I saw the scene where they're in the lawyer's office, and I was like, okay, yep, they're getting a divorce. Okay.
Well... and I mean, something that really bothers me is that, okay, you send your kids off.
Mm-hmm.
You pawn your kids off on your very busy sister who runs a bulk of the administration for this entire Jurassic World theme park.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you think she can spend all of her time with these kids.
Yeah.
And then you start crying and complaining.
Oh, I know.
When you're like, oh, well, the kids, they're going to get on each other's nerves and stuff like that. It's like, well... Tough shit. I mean, you know, she has her life, and you basically sent your kids over there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You can't blame her for that.
And you're actually leading into what is most likely my absolute biggest problem with this movie. And I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm gonna say this. I feel like this movie is one of the most, like, misogynistic, sexist pieces of crap I've seen maybe ever. Especially after we have fucking Mad Max, where that makes such a good, like a really excellent effort to make it gender equality, where we have women coming in and being and destroying a lot of these standard stereotypes for them and making an all-powerful feminist message. Then we get this shit that constantly has this really ugly anti-woman feel to it. It's sick. It's sickening. It's like the whole movie just has it, and everybody, it's like this giant dinosaur-shaped shitball that the director is handing to the audience, but then he knows the audience are going to play with it because it's shaped like a fucking dinosaur. Okay, so like you said, they have it where these kids are being dumped on this woman who, right off the get-go, is being portrayed as a so-called cold, shallow individual who doesn't want kids, who is kind of, you know, like, why are these kids being dumped on me when I'm like, it's in the middle of one of the biggest openings at the park, I'm so stressed out, I have to deal with all this other shit. And it's like the movie is constantly pegging her to be this horrible person. He goes, oh no, she doesn't know the age of her nephews, and she hasn't seen them for 7 years because she's off doing her own thing and being a career-driven person. And then, oh no, we have her to where she gives them to an assistant because she has a fucking life and she has a job that she needs to take care of. So then we're going to have this assistant be like...
And then they have the assistant where she's not actually paying attention to the kids either, really.
Which, no, well, she was, but then she's dealing with the business, too. It's
yeah.
like she's jabbering with a boyfriend or something, which that's usually the go-to thing. But it's like she's trying to deal with her other shit as well in the park because it's not just her job to babysit these fucking kids. And then the kids go run off on their own. They do the thing where, oh, she's distracted, run away. Oh, shame on the babysitter for being tricked into having these kids run away from her to the point where, oh, we're supposed to laugh at her when she gets horribly, and I'm skipping ahead, but where she gets brutally tortured by these pterodactyls. And then, like...
Oh, yeah, that really bothered me. That, like, I was in the theater, and, like, I looked over at my mom, and my mom was covering her face.
Yep.
And, I mean, my mom,
laughed.
Like, yeah.
In the theater, we're like, ha, 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 ha.
Like, no. Like, seriously, like, I did not find that funny in the least bit. Honestly, like, okay, so I find one thing where it's, like, if you're in a, like, you know, a Jurassic Park movie, or one of these movies, and a dinosaur goes and eats someone, you're like, okay, well... I mean, they got eaten, you know, shit happens when dinosaurs get loose. But the thing is, they were, like, picking her, tossing her around. She fell in the water. They pulled her back out. And then the giant monster ate her. I'm like, dude, that was while she's just screaming bloody murder. And it's just like, I feel sickened at this.
Yeah,
you know, this isn't right. You know, I'm like, this is wrong.
That's like, again, that just adds a whole nother thing to, like, the whole, like, haha, women kind of thing, that this mentality, this stupid mentality that the movie has. I feel like it's just as bad. Everyone that complained about the Transformers movies, like, I feel like it's the same thing except done in a much more subtextual way, which actually is kind of disturbing, kind of more disturbing, because it's being this, like, undercurrent of ugliness and meanness. But at least in, like, Transformers, it's, like, there on screen constantly. So at least some people can recognize that it's there in a more overt way. But here, it's like, they're just underhandedly feeding us this pig slop that's like, oh, it's just entertainment. It's just a bunch of dinosaurs. And it's like every time I've tried to tell somebody this, all they say is, but there's dinosaurs in it. But there's dinosaurs. It's like, so fucking what? So fucking what if there's dinosaurs in it? We've seen dinosaurs in movies since King Kong back in the 1940s. Who cares? Who cares anymore about... Like, I'm not saying, like... Okay. It's like, who cares? You can't use that as an excuse anymore. It's like, what are you, 11? And I've even heard these grown adults defending it because, oh, well, it has dinosaurs in it. You know, shut the fuck up. It has dinosaurs. You're thinking too hard about it. It's like, what are you, 12? You guys seriously can't think any higher, any deeper about what the movie is doing? All you do is just put these fucking, like, blocks around your eyes. All you're gonna see are the dinosaurs. The dinosaur. It's like, fuck you. What the fuck? Are we? Is this really how our audience is these days? And like, granted, I can appreciate dinosaurs. I can appreciate Transformers. I can appreciate, you know, giant robots fighting each other. But you gotta look at the other stuff too. You can't just put these fucking blinders on and go, die, dinosaurs, die. Like, it just made me mad. And like the audience that I was with, I think I was the only one besides like a few of my other friends that, thankfully, they saw some of the shit that I saw too, but not to the extent that I did. But it's like, and I'm not saying this like I'm bragging. I'm saying this like, this is there, guys. This is there. And the fact that nobody is seeing this disturbs me. The fact that the general audience doesn't see this disturbs me. It's like, wow. If they can get away with, if this movie can make that much money, the gajillion dollars that it made with this kind of crap behind it, oh my god, it's a whole nother low for Hollywood now.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Well, because the thing is, they're like, well, we can do pretty much the exact same thing and make all the same money.
Yeah, exactly. It has dinosaurs. People will go see it. It's like South Park. It's like that episode of South Park when Stan becomes cynical. That's how I feel. When it's like, oh, it's Jurassic Park. There's dinosaurs. You don't care about anything else. Fuck you. Here's some shit. And then the dinosaur squirts shit on Stan's face or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just it's like a big fucking piece of shit that people are lapping up because it has dinosaurs in it. What do you fucking do? And they're not even good-looking dinosaurs. Okay, so going back to what you like the nostalgia critic said, because I haven't watched his review yet. He mentioned. Well,
it wasn't that like I watched like several different things from him.
Okay.
Actually, he had this one thing where he was talking with his brother about the movie, and then he did this other one called Spoiler Corner where he talked about the end of the movie, and like he just kind of ranted and raved during that one.
Yeah.
And like rightfully so. And he said there's either one of two ways they should have taken that. One is if your dinosaurs are going to look hokey, just have fun with it, do stuff with that. But then your Indominus Rex, like mutant dinosaur, doesn't look creative at all. It looks really bland.
Just be fun. You can get away with a lot of things for being fun.
Yeah, but they didn't take that direction.
No.
But but then he's actually gone and done like a legitimate one, like without any video footage or anything like that, because he's like, you know what, screw it, we're just going to do this review anyway.
Mm-hmm. And then, moving on with the sister. Oh, that whole thing, one of the parts that pissed me off the most with the sister is when she calls up, I think, is Claire her name? I
don't even know.
The one that Chris Pratt... Oh, that's another fucking thing. Okay, I'll get to that in a bit. It's like...
I don't remember any of their names.
Yeah, it's like every time I think Owen is Chris Pratt, and I think it's Owen and Claire. I think Claire is Bryce Dallas Howard's character. Okay, so Claire is on the phone with her sister, and it's like, she's talking about how, oh, my career is taking me places, about how, I really didn't plan on having the kids here, because I'm trying to, work. And then the sister makes this really fucked up, condescending remark about how, oh, well, you'll wake up one day, you'll realize that you'll want to settle down, and it's like, wait a minute. So, you're telling me, movie, you're telling me that this career that she's having, this is like a temporary thing, where it's like her biological, it's like she's running away.
Like, it'll be okay, like this time to my husband.
Yeah. It's like this career thing is just a way to hide her biological desire to have children and be a mother and settle down. And
it's such horse shit. I mean, and the thing is like, so these characters are so stereotypical too. Well, I mean, like going into this whole fucking romance. Like the first time she goes and we are introduced to like both characters talking to each other. Mm-hmm. Like Chris Pratt makes some kind of offhand comment saying like, oh, well, that's why we only tried to date one time. You make a schedule for everything. Where it's like, well, I mean, like, so basically you're attacking her for being organized and, like, planning out what she wants to actually do.
Yeah.
And then basically midway through, right after the Raptors,
and he's just...
I mean, like, after, like, the pterodactyls, like, they just randomly kiss for no reason.
Oh, my God!
And then at the end, he's like, well, what do we do now? Like, she doesn't know what she's gonna do. It's like, well, I have some money, I have a lot of business experience running administratively. I can go find a job someplace else. It's like, well, we should just stick together, well, like nature does, or something like, some kind of bullshit line like that. And then you just assume that they're supposed to get together or some stupid shit like that. That really bothered me, because I'm like, so basically you shoehorned in a romance that didn't need to be there. Not everyone has to be in a romance by the end of the movie.
There's
it's
like two
stupid.
People that are not, like, at all convincingly attracted to each other.
Yeah, it was fine to say at one point in time that, I mean, they had past history that they had tried to date, but it didn't work. Mm-hmm. That would have been fine. But, like, I mean, like, that could have stayed, but then basically all the other stuff, it was just, like, too hard. I mean, you didn't... Basically, they just showed her character as someone that's like, oh, well, when you really get emotional, you'll start doing things.
Oh, my God.
And then she's like, when the kids are... They're like, please don't leave. And she's like, I am never going to let y'all go ever again. And it's like, what?
Well, it's like, well, there you go.
And then, actually, we wanted to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, it's just like the biggest fuck you I saw that entire movie. She's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, she helped to save y'all, too.
Every time, I'm noticing this in the movie every time they try to make her have a moment, like a badass moment, it's always through a reflection of Chris Pratt. It's always through him. It's never on her own. It's always seen as some kind of weird little thing for Chris Pratt to look better.
Yeah.
It's like when they compliment her, like, oh, your boyfriend's really cool. And then she's like, I'm like, okay. And then there's the part where she kills...
Like, what are we, in high school?
Yeah. And then there's the part where she kills the pterodactyl.
You know, it's where like if you think about those high school movies where it's like two people are hanging out and they might or may not like each other, and the parents like, oh, you have that older person like, oh, it's like, oh, no, we're not a couple. But then it's like, they insinuated we might be a couple. Maybe we should try and be a couple. Oh my God, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
It's like you're in elementary school.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just
when two kids like look at each other and they're like poopy head, like poopy head.
I mean, there's a lot of bother. Like, I mean, like, I don't know.
Yes,
there's
you know. Oh,
like,
you know.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just bothers me.
Yeah.
The like I was saying with the kids, I didn't even realize there was a divorce subplot until they were on the train and the little brother started crying, and then the older brother's like, well, that's what parents do. All the people I know, like all my friends that like parents are divorced. That's not how you fucking react to that. Like, my parents divorced when I was a kid, so I was more around the younger kids' age. And my older brother, like, I mean, he didn't like it either. He wasn't like, oh, I guess it's just something that happens. I mean, if that's like, okay, so let's just take a step back for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And if in the movie we have a kid say, oh, everyone's parents gets divorced, everyone I know gets divorced, you know, then it's like, clearly there's something wrong with the marriage system in our country if it's okay for everyone to just be divorced, if that's just how things are, you know? But, I mean, off of that, back onto the movie, I thought it was stupid as hell when they were in that bathysphere thingy, and, like, it was so fucking stupid. Like, they're like, oh, did you get them all recalled? Yeah, they're all recalled. And it's like, check again. Oh, no, we have this one over here. You should have, like, a little fucking dot being like, boop, boop, boop. This person's not coming back. Let's call them in the car. It's like, hey, yeah, we're going to need you to come back now. We've closed the ride. And not even that. It's like, oh, let's go off-roading. You know, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then they get attacked by the Indominus Rex. And they get away and they jump into the water and they get off and they're like, hey, look, we just jumped in the water. Everything's fun now. I'd be like, no, fuck that. Let's get the fuck out of here, man. I'm scared and terrified. We almost...
I know. No, oh my God. Okay, going back to the little hamster ball thing. Okay, there's that part where they're turned upside down and the phone falls out and it lands on the floor when they're upside down. Yeah. And the kid's like struggling to reach for it. And the whole time that happened, I kept thinking, why don't you just unbuckle your seatbelt? And he's like reaching and reaching. I'm like, dude, just unbuckle your seatbelt. Oh, I'm reaching. Just unbuckle. Fuck it, you deserve to die. And then when the Indominus Rex at the last minute is about to kill them, it's like, what did they come up with? Let's unbuckle our seatbelts. I'm like, you fucking retards. I swear, it's like this fucking movie has okay. Like, I heard this script, and I'm not making a joke or anything. I heard this script was written in a few weeks, and it shows. Wow. It really shows.
Well, they were probably like, well, we can just, like, have some random stuff, put in special effects, have the dinosaurs, people will buy it.
Yeah.
They clearly didn't spend enough time on this.
No, absolutely not. It's got more, like normally I'm not one that complains about plot holes and illogical shit, but the amount that they do it in Jurassic World, it is, like, over and over and over and over again to the point where you just want to tear your hair out because everybody in the movie is so fucking stupid. It's like, is there not one smart like, these people were able to come together and build a multi-billion-dollar park. They're not able to really? They're not able to think logically in these situations? It's like...
I was really thrown off by the fact that John Hammond handed over Jurassic Park to the guy that currently was owning it during the movie.
Oh, the Indian
And
guy?
then apparently he didn't know jack shit about what InGen was doing with their genetics. You know, Hammond was actually in there looking at what the fuck they were doing because he was like, "Hey, it's awesome." And then they're just like, "Oh, well, I don't." It's like you wanted me to make something with a lot of teeth. Literally, that's the only instruction. Like, "Oh, make something scary. Give me something with a lot of teeth." Yeah, so I mixed a raptor with a T-Rex. Big fucking whoop. And he's like, "Well, what?" And also,
okay.
Let me point out. Sorry.
No,
that when Chris Pratt's character goes to the Indominus Rex cage because they're like, well, have him take a look at the paddock. I want to make sure it's safe. You know, we literally turn, like, he's like, where is it? I don't see it. We literally turn to a fucking, like, overweight white dude with a fucking Jurassic Park hat and a goddamn sandwich in his hand and like, I don't know where the dinosaur is. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? And you can't tell me this is the first time the thing decided to stealth itself. No. No. You grew this dinosaur, it ate its sibling. You would fucking pay attention if it could cloak itself or not. What the shit, man?
Yeah,
Seriously.
that guy, I forget that guy's name. It's the guy from, New Girl. I always forget his name. I think he's from New Girl.
Which guy?
The guy that buys the original Jurassic Park T-shirt and the nerdy guy at the desk and everything.
Oh yeah, well, like onto that too. It's like they're like, oh, you're wearing that original Jurassic Park T-shirt. That's in bad taste. A lot of people died there, and it's like, wait. They actually made fucking T-shirts. The park didn't even open yet. It was in its concept phase. You know, they weren't. They had a lot of stuff, but they weren't even ready to open yet. You know, they had a lot of shit they needed to work on still.
Yeah, that's another, like, illogical thing that leads into another problem I have with the movie, where they give off this, like, really stupid, cynical crap where they talk about how, oh, well, audiences are tired of the same shit, so let's just make everything bigger, faster, more powerful, more scary. And then they, like, poke fun at the original Jurassic Park. Oh, it's just that movie about dinosaurs. Who gives a shit about that? And it's like, okay, you do realize that movie...
That was the best one.
Yeah, it's cherished by millions of people around the world. And in a way, this movie is making fun of them by going, oh, you like that original Jurassic Park movie? You're such a simpleton.
Also, it was like they had him with his little dinosaur toys around, and then he has his Slurpee or something, or his freaking soda.
Yeah,
and then it insinuated that he was an idiot in a klutz. Like they made him like the freaking like, oh, like he likes computers. You know, he's clearly a klutz and he's a geek and a nerd and all this stuff. And then she has to move the trash can, like, so he doesn't knock his drink over and crap like that. And I mean, it's so played out. Like, he's the only guy that like seemed to have any fucking common sense in the movie. And yet they're trashing him for just being him.
Yeah, and then they make fun of him by trying to kiss that one chick, and then it's like, oh, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah, no, and he's like, well, someone has to say, it's like, actually, yeah, no, that was unnecessary. Why is that even in the movie? You're trying to basically, like, first of all, we haven't had enough character development between these two characters to even be like, basically, what they did is they insinuated that if you're in a life or death situation, you can basically go and just kiss anyone that you want.
Yeah, basically.
And then on top of that, they make fun of him for doing that. When they already established that's how the movie works, when they fucking when Chris Pratt's character and Dallas's character kiss each other, you know? I was like, what the hell?
You're absolutely right. I didn't even think about that until now. It's
bullshit.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit.
And then like I don't even want to like my biggest thing where I knew I was gonna probably not like this movie is when I was like training raptors. I'm like, that's horseshit. And then he's like, click, 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 click. They respect me. They imprinted on me. Click, click, click.
Yeah, because they turn on him so quickly when
he jumped in there to save that guy.
Oh my god.
So quickly. And then I was like,
so not even that. The part when they go after the Indominus Rex and the Indominus Rex talks to the dinosaurs.
Like, hey guys, I have a bad feeling that the other thing that was classified that was in the dinosaur, I think that thing's part raptor.
I'm like,
and like I didn't really see it because I thought the model was just terrible and I didn't know what it was trying to be.
Yeah.
And, like, the nostalgia critic was like, well, I don't know. It looks like they just took the raptor model, make it bigger, put some spikes on its back, colored it separately. It's a fucking raptor still.
Yeah.
Like, so the thing that talks like a raptor, looks like a raptor, acts like a raptor, oh, it must be a fucking raptor.
Yeah. It looks... It's like the design is so unimaginative. And it's like they were hiding it for months. And then when they just reveal it, like... Okay, that's another problem I have with this movie. As far... Okay, you can... Okay. The structure. This guy... Okay, this is part of why I don't like these kind of directors coming in to direct a like a blockbuster. Because you can't just have anybody direct a blockbuster. There is an art to it. Well, the film itself is an art. But there is a craft required to get a blockbuster correctly. Yeah. This guy, Colin Trevorrow, I think his name is Trevorrow, whatever the fuck his name is, the guy that fucked up Jurassic Park, the series.
Well, I mean,
he does not know how to direct a blockbuster whatsoever. This is a situation where he knows the lyrics, but he doesn't know how to play the music.
Yeah, and if you want to, like, back to what we were talking about the actors earlier, and saying like, oh, like the actors didn't really do a good job, and I was talking about like the Star Wars prequels, where literally it was packed full of really good actors that like it's suffered, like performances suffered because of the writing and directing.
Right.
Vincent fucking D'Onofrio. The fucking Kingpin.
Awful.
The Kingpin. Yeah. They relegated him to being some kind of 90s weird villain where it's like, yeah, I'm with Engine, and we're going to use the Raptors as weapons on the battlefield because they can think, and it'll be the most superior weapon ever. And it's like, are you? And then he goes to the rooftop when everyone's dying. Yeah. And he goes to the rooftop when everyone's dying, and he just starts smiling, and he's like, I'm going to get to use the Raptors now. And it's like, no one's that overtly evil. I mean, like, what the fuck?
It made me laugh.
And we know he can act. We know D'Onofrio can act, because he hacked the hell out of the Kingpin.
Oh, yeah.
He did a damn good job. That's when you know the writing and directing was really good for Daredevil.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the thing is even if an actor isn't that strong, if they're well directed and have well-written lines, it's gonna be good. And the thing is when you have a really good actor already, and you give them shit lines and shit direction, if you say, like, be a 90s villain, they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be a 90s villain, you know? I mean, you don't really have a choice. You can't just go off reservation or else they'll replace you.
Yeah.
So...
But it was like... Okay, where was I with the... Okay, so... One of the parts that I knew... Even when they got to the park, I knew this was gonna suck. Because the way Trevorrow directs this and stages the actual reveal of the park and the reveal, there's no sense of build-up. There's no kind of suspense. It's like they just automatically just jump into the park. Like, it's like, guys, do you not... There's a reason Spielberg didn't show the park for, like, 20 minutes or so, because you build up to these things. You add a sense of suspense and of anticipation.
Well, he's needed to showcase it in a much better way. Because you can't just, like, do, like, an over, like, we're just going to fly the camera or fly the camera
and
over
then when the gates, in the original movie, when you go through the gates, it's like you're actually going through it, which is really cool, and it gives you the sense that you're going to see something really magical and spectacular. And in this movie, it's like they pan away to where the gate is there and it just opens, and this what the fuck are they called? I was about to say treadmill. These monorail. It's a monorail that goes through. And it's like, that is no way, that establishes no sense of wonder or imagination or suspense or anything. It's just like an ADD kid just jumping right into the shit. And it's
I mean, the thing is like, the biggest thing about the original Jurassic Park is, like you were saying, like, the viewer was being introduced to the park at the same time that Dr. Grant and Dr. Sadler, and I can't remember the other character.
Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's character. I can't remember what his character's name was.
I forget that guy's name.
But yeah, no, we're going with them on their journey exploring Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So, like, basically, like, we don't know any more than they do. We're finding out stuff as we go. And the thing is like like the kids that we get in this movie, they're like, oh, like the little kid's like, yeah, fuck yeah, dinosaurs. But then like everyone else is kind of like, oh, I'm looking at my phone, whatever, that's a dinosaur. I'm like, I'd be like, no, I don't give a shit. That's a fucking dinosaur. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, wow, that's not cool anymore. It's just so commonplace. And it's like, yeah, asshole, because you're not making it cool. You're making it feel so... You're making it feel commonplace. You're directing...
The only like time that like the older brother actually gets into the dinosaurs is like when the giant water one like eats something and he's like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Like he's off his damn phone. And then later on, when he's just trying to like make his little brother feel better and show him dinosaurs, which I mean I don't fault him on.
I do,
but
that situation. Oh yeah, it was so.
Well, no, he should have not gone off the rails. No. You know, he should not. Yeah, no. So I mean, but the thing is, I understand him like wanting to like cheer his little brother up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's just like there's the thing that was so awesome about the Jurassic Park was the whimsy, like the wonder of it all, where it's like when they first show, like when, like before you even see the first real dinosaur, like when they're just driving in and you just see them stop in their Jeeps and then you just see Dr. Grant turn and just like stand up in the car and he's like, holy shit, and he like takes his glasses off and then you just see, and then you like, you don't see the dinosaur yet, but then you turn and you see like Jeff Goldblum's character turn, and he turns like to Dr. Sadler and physically turns her head, and she stands up, and then they just start showing the brontosauruses and stuff, and you're like, holy fucking shit, it's dinosaurs, and they're like, what the fuck?
And the music plays, and it's magical, and it's.
But then with these kids, like it's like there's no sense of discovery and wonderment and awe of these dinosaurs. They're just kind of like there, and I mean, and then you just have like the little kids riding like the fucking petting zoo, like fucking baby dinosaurs and stuff like that, which I want to get back to. When, like, I felt like it was like it wasn't as bad as like episode 3 when like Anakin killed the Padawans, but like seeing those fucking pterodactyls like picking up the baby dinosaurs and trying to carry them away, I was like, no, don't do that, stop. You know, I was like, those are just baby dinosaurs. Don't fucking do that. Have them eat adult people.
Yeah. It's again, it's ugly and it's not fun and it's ugh. And then you brought up a good point.
And they could have easily done animatronics for the baby dinosaurs, but they chose not to.
It's CGI again.
That would have been the best place to do like animatronics dinosaurs, because they could have gotten the same effects and it actually would have looked real.
Yeah.
You know,
crappy looking CGI. Like when there's that part when they were riding through the hamster ball and there's all those dinosaurs around them.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
Like, why didn't the like dinosaurs like run into them and knock them around?
Yeah. The whole movie, I was holding back saying stuff out loud just out of respect for everybody. I was like, you know, as shitty of a time as I'm having, I'm not gonna ruin it for everybody else. But that part when the dinosaurs are running alongside the hamster ball, I just blurted out, that looks so fucking fake. And like some woman in front of me turned around and gave me this glare, and I was like, sorry, it's true. It just looks terrible.
Yeah, no, it's sad when your CGI from the original Jurassic Park looks so better than your Jurassic Park from now.
That's what like when they showed the trailer, I was like, this looks horrible. This looks so much. This isn't better than the. In fact, the CGI from the original trilogy looks better.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like when movies that are over 10 years old look better, special effects wise, than your new blockbuster summer movie. You know, then there's something very, very wrong.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you look over at another giant blockbuster movie, Age of Ultron, it had a lot of CGI in it too, but it looked good.
That's between you and me.
I thought it looked good.
I thought it looked alright, but I thought it went overkill the entire time. Which, I'm sorry, for all the complaints I had about Age of Ultron, I don't take it back, but that was a fucking masterpiece compared to Jurassic World. That was a goddamn Mad Max Fury Road. Well, even Mad Max I didn't like love, but what's a major blockbuster that I love? That was the fucking Dark Knight compared to Jurassic World. That was like, oh my god, I mean, as much as I don't really care for that, that was so much better than Jurassic World. That didn't piss me off like Jurassic World did. And okay, the one. Okay, because we gotta talk about other stuff too. This might be a long episode, but like the the final thing I'll say. Okay, so the finale of the movie when what one of the, because I can't list everything that pissed me off about it.
Yeah,
all day.
And we don't want to run over since we want to still talk about Batman.
Yeah, but it's like the ending of the movie, and you already mentioned this, where they talk about where it's that scene where they're all huddled together, and it's after the big dinosaur fight, which is fucking retarded. And it's like, well, what do we do now? And it's like, oh, I guess we just stick together, for survival. And it's like, wow.
Like, that's like the lamest, shittiest pickup line I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, and then not only that, it's like there's other stuff before that where she's looking at her nephews, and she kind of has this, like, they give her this glow. I don't know if you noticed this, but they give her this glow in the movie.
My life is complete now that I have children to take care of.
Yeah, my life is complete now that I am not really career focused and I want to be.
I mean, I haven't got anymore, so she can totally just like have some kids with Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Don't feel bad for her. She's gonna get fucked by Chris Pratt.
I'm actually gonna take a step back from even that too, and I want to talk about that final fight. I mean, this is spoilers for if you haven't seen it yet. Like, don't listen to this next part.
We've already spoiled the majority of the movie.
But I mean, the whole thing is in the end, like, like they're running through the actual. They're trying to escape from the fucking raptors because the raptors turned on them when the Indominus Rex talked to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, I'm your boss now because I'm like a giant raptor. And they're like, okay, whatever, let's kill everyone. So they escape. They're like in the middle of the park and stuff. Don't know where all the other people that were being attacked by the pterodactyls were because they were probably next door, but they didn't deal with any of this.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna forget that for now.
Pterodactyls.
And the thing is like so the Indominus Rex shows up. Mm-hmm. And then, like, but that was, like, right before, like, the Raptors were going to attack Chris Pratt, and he was like, no, like, like, they have to, like, listen to me and stuff like that. So, like, he starts sitting there, and he's talking to him, and then they, like, listen, and they start listening to him, they slow down and everything like that, and then they turn and they start trying to fight the Indominus Rex, which I'm like, why the fuck you didn't do that earlier? I don't know. Suddenly, because Chris Pratt is still there both times. Two of them get killed, Blue gets knocked away, and Blue is like the one's name I remember was the Blue Raptor. All I can think of when I hear that is like fucking old school with God, what's his name? Will Ferrell. It's like, you're my boy, Blue. But yeah, so like they're hiding from the Indominus Rex, it's trying to eat them.
Yeah.
The woman runs off and she's talking to the nerd guy that's still there. I don't remember their name because they didn't give me enough reason to care.
Yeah, I don't give.
And basically she's like, release the paddock, and he's like, are you sure? That's crazy. He's like, go ahead, do it. And he's like, okay. And then, like, so she's standing in front of this giant metal door. It starts opening slowly. I know Nostalgia Critic really likes this, and I was just kind of like, about the whole situation. She pops a flare, then you start seeing, like, T-Rex eyes and face, and she, like, starts running chunks of flare at the Indominus Rex, and the T-Rex comes out, and I'm like, no, they're just going to kill the T-Rex off again like they did in Jurassic Park 3 to the fucking Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
And I was going to be like, if they do this again, I'm going to be so mad. So basically, they start fighting each other, biting each other, like, T-Rex gets knocked down, it's starting to get munched up or whatever, and then the raptor jumps up, runs along the back of the T-Rex, and, starts helping it fight the Indominus Rex.
So dumb.
And I'm just sitting there like no, like they would both eat the raptor. They would just stop, eat the raptor, then go back to fighting.
Yeah.
And then they turn and they knock the Indominus Rex towards the edge. I mean, I already had this part spoiled for me because someone's like, spoiler alert, the giant fish monster eats the Indominus Rex. Movie over. So it pops up, eats it, pulls it away. That's all done. The raptor looks at the T-Rex. They both, like, acknowledge each other somehow with the bro signal and both fly in separate directions without eating the humans, obviously standing in the area.
The T-Rex is like, oh, they're with you? Okay, then. He just walks away.
Yeah. It's not even, like, communicated with each other. And, like, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
And then I love the Velociraptors. Chris Pratt just stares lovingly into their eyes, and it's like, that's okay.
And he's like telling old Yeller to just run off into the fucking forest. It's like, go on, boy, go on,
It's like,
go on and live your life for, like, all the food you can try and eat, because the only thing you're gonna get fed is, like, other dinosaurs that are in the park that the Indominus Rex already killed.
Yeah, it's just...
Which, by the way, was fucking stupid that it went around just killing other dinosaurs and not eating them.
Well,
because
I understood... That's one of the things that I was... Okay, thinking about that, that's one of the things I was like, alright, whatever. It's where it's like killing out of fun rather than actual necessity. Which I'm like...
It doesn't know what it is. You kept it all locked up by itself.
Yeah, which I was like, alright, whatever. I don't really give a shit about that, but at least it doesn't annoy me. And then you have the thing where it's like, it becomes this 3 versus 1 battle against the Indominus Rex because the dinosaurs suddenly hate the Indominus Rex, and it's like the Mecha Godzilla of Jurassic Park, which I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Like, why are the Raptors just turning on the Indominus Rex now? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And then, oh my god, okay, 2 things about that part with the T-Rex. One, did you know, like, the whole movie, every time Claire is running, doing anything, jumping, fighting, it's all in high heels. Did you notice that? They make a point about, like, not zooming in, but showing her clearly still wearing high heels when she's doing all this shit during the movie. And it's like, that's just such a weird little, like, stupid thing to have, and it's like, you really expect me to believe that she can outrun the fucking T-Rex while she's in goddamn high heels? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then
there was a lot of really stupid shit in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's an interview apparently with Bryce Dallas Howard where they like the interviewer makes a remark about her like really, you did that whole movie in like shoes? And she's like, yeah, my girl can be badass, but she still does it in high heels. And it's like supposed to be this empowering thing, and I'm like, honey, that's not something to be proud of. That's really not.
No, realistically, she would have like taken the shoes, fucking just thrown them. Like, she wouldn't have even had those shoes. Like,
realistically,
like
she would have
the last section of that movie.
Yeah, realistically, she would have fucking died like hours before the movie. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then like one last thing I want to talk about before you make any final points is like, when they go and the kids find like the old section of the park and they're just like dicking with like the binoculars where it's like, oh, this is binoculars from the first movie. That somehow still works.
Yeah.
In the car batteries that somehow still work after being stuck in a jungle disserviced for 10 years.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
And then the T-Rex, I didn't even like the T-Rex. They couldn't even give me one of the like the best parts about the original for me is the T-Rex roar, which sounds great.
Yeah.
It has this distinctive roar that just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up because it's so awesome. They fucked up the roar. They couldn't even do the roar the right way like in the original one. And it just sounds like this generic dinosaur roar, where it's just roar, and I'm like,
no, because I was expecting it to face the actual. Because the thing is, at the end, like the T-Rex somehow just walks around, gets up on top of like the science center or whatever, looks at the horizon, and then just like roars. But like it's like it didn't really sound like the T-Rex roar. Oh. It's supposed to have that high pitch, you know.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have it.
And then in this one, it's just roar. I'm like, oh, you couldn't even give me that, you fuckers. You couldn't even give me that.
Yeah.
Fuckers. Fuck you, Colin, Trevor, fuck, whatever the fuck your name is. Fuck you. Fuck you. You ruined... I'm not saying, like, you ruined the original film for me, but it just...
No, the original movie is still there, and I still love it.
Yeah. I appreciate it now more than ever after watching this. I appreciate 3 now more than ever after watching this. At least 3 has a sense of suspense and anticipation for stuff. And it's like, this is just, it's just slop. It's just this slop. It's crap. And then people are just eating it up because it has dinosaurs in it, like I said. And it's just...
Yeah.
And then when the T-Rex roared at the end, everybody in the audience just clapped, and there was this big standing ovation.
There were some people trying to clap in my theater at the end of the movie, but I'm like, nope, not gonna do it.
No,
it's not clap worthy.
I didn't do it. Like, everybody in the theater just like, woo! Just gave it this standing ovation, and it's so funny. I love my friends. Everybody that I went to the movie with, my friends, they all just slowly turned and looked at me. Because I was the one that was the most vocal out of everybody in the group during the movie. And, like, everybody just looked at me, and then they were like, so what'd you think? And the first thing that popped out of my mouth was, fuck this movie. Just fuck this movie. And then, because, like, the movie was over, I can talk about it now. And everybody, and I'm sorry for the people around me that are like, oh, this guy didn't like the movie, he's ruining the movie for us. That's not my fucking problem. I'm sorry. That's not my problem. I fucking hated it. I thought it was fucking horrible. Maybe the worst blockbuster I've seen. One of these, like, big, astonishing blockbusters that I've seen in a long time. It was awful. Maybe the worst one that I've seen since Spider-Man 3. Maybe the worst. Maybe even worse than that. I'd have to really think about that. But yeah, this was a fucking torture. This is fucking torture to sit through. It was just awful. The whole movie was just one piece of shit, dumb bullshit decision after another. Just more ugly, hateful, anti-woman bullshit being thrown. It's just over and over and over again. But that's okay because we have dinosaurs in it. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Like, I don't know if you can see if you can see your Facebook right now, but I linked you a picture.
Okay.
I think you might appreciate it.
Okay. I could definitely use some laughs after going through my mindset of going through that again. So it was awful.
Yeah, I mean, there's issues. I took issues with the owner of Jurassic Park being like, oh yeah, we're gonna take this guy, so we're actually empowering someone that's not white.
Right.
You know, like we're saying like, hey, you know, this guy owns Jurassic World, you know. But then basically you undermine his whole character by being like, oh, he doesn't know what the scientists are doing. He's like, just make it with, like, he spends so much time defending John Hammond and saying, yes, this needs to be run the way John Hammond wanted it to be. It's about enjoyment and people having fun, you know, and experiencing the dinosaurs. And he's like, give it big teeth, you know, give it big teeth. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to fly a helicopter. Oh, I don't have my license yet. I'm not fully, you know, qualified to operate this yet. I'm, like, flying around with a human being, you know? And then he's like, oh, I'm going to take the soldiers to kill the Indominus Rex, you know? And I'm like, what? No, you fucking moron. Yeah. You fucking moron. No.
Yeah. He's just fodder for the dinosaurs to kill. Because we can't.
So that's pretty much like fuck anyone that's not white.
Even Vincent D'Onofrio's death did not really, like. I was like,
it was off screen. It was like we all know he was gonna get eaten by a raptor. Yeah. We all knew that. Like the moment he was like, I want to use him as soldiers, gonna get eaten.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's just so. It's just.
Yeah, and then you have, like, basically, I'm pretty sure, like, the scientist, like, the geneticist that was making the dinosaurs was the same guy from the first movie that was talking about the raptors and, like, using frog DNA. But the thing is like, oh, well, take the embryos, and he got away on a helicopter with embryos. So that's going to be their whole basis for the next movie. So I'm like, okay, this is stupid. Can't even be fucking creative. Yeah. And then what about all the other fucking dinosaurs that are just stuck in their paddocks? It's not like the other Jurassic Park where, like, all the power lines went down, you know, keeping them separated, and they could just kind of roam the island, you know? There's other ones that are just stuck. They're going to die.
Yeah.
You know? If the T-Rex wasn't let out, it would have died, you know? Yeah. But anyway, screw it.
Fuck this movie.
Yeah, that's all I'm willing to talk about for Jurassic World.
And
it was okay for me, but I don't know. Like, I spent like, well, I bought my ticket and my mom's ticket, and they were about, like, $5.79 a piece, so I'm like, whatever. Like, so I don't really feel like I was too gypped. It's not like I paid $10 for a ticket, and I was like, fuck, no, that. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was whatever. It's not the blockbuster people are talking about, in my opinion, though.
It's just, anyway, it sucks. It's just terrible. I just, and it baffles me that it's me. I know Jurassic Park has a lot of nostalgia value for people, but it just baffles me the amount of money it made. It's astonishing.
Well, no, because the thing is everyone was gonna go see it. I mean, that's the thing. Like, they knew their audience. They knew that people were using nostalgia on their side. There's like a lot of things where it's like, people are like, you know, I saw the first one when I was a kid, and I'm gonna take my kids now to, you know, go see Jurassic World. You know, I'm gonna introduce them to the franchise that I love. You know,
Which I understand.
and so the thing is like the biggest thing I'm interested in is when the second one comes out, if it's gonna get anywhere near the box office. Because the thing is like if you look at this box office, it's just a combination of people that had never seen it and didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, or or hadn't really seen reviews yet that they all rushed out to watch the movie, and so like you can't really fault them for that.
Yeah.
But I want to see the box office numbers when we actually get the next one.
And I know I keep saying this. Okay, but last thing about Jurassic World. There's a quote from one of the guys on Half in the Bag, the show on YouTube, the movie review show on YouTube, and I think it was during their review of Star Trek Into Darkness. One of the guys mentioned something that I completely agree with and pertains a lot to Jurassic World, where audiences these days don't care about substance. They care about branding, where they just go, oh, here's Spider-Man, here's my money, oh, that says Superman, here's my money. That says Jurassic World, here's my money. That says Star Wars, here's my money. And it's like, they don't even think about, like, it's like they don't care about the movie itself. They just care about the brand. Like, even they don't fully understand why the original films are special to them. It's like they don't even understand. It's like they just go to see it just because it has the label slapped onto it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why you have a lot of idiots buying a lot of stupid things.
It's
like, why does this thing keep selling?
Yeah,
you know? Because idiots keep doing it.
It's bullshit. And it
Call of fucking Duty.
Yeah. Hey man, I'd sit through all the entire Call of Duties then sit through Jurassic World again. I'll play through all of those in a single sitting before I go through Jurassic World again. And I would do it. You could film me and everything. I'd fucking do it. As long as you feed me, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Well, we can actually talk about a game that's good if you want. We can talk about Batman.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Arkham Knight this is going to be kind of like just a semi-first impressions for me without, like, spoilers because, you know, I'm not going to spoil Batman, and I don't want it spoiled for myself either because Adam's beaten it and I haven't.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about what happens.
He has the propensity to rush through games to find out the story instead of doing the side quest.
Hey, I've been doing the side quest now. That's what I always do. Main campaign, side quests.
But yeah, no, it's just the thing is like just this, like right off the bat, the like the PS4 for me, the PS4 version runs perfectly. I haven't had any stutters. The graphical fidelity is amazing.
I've had one or two just during the more destructive Batmobile sequences, like when you're chasing the cars. I've had it dip a little bit. But that's about it.
Well, I mean, like the only thing that I've come across is when I've accidentally beaten someone up too close to a wall and they're kind of like colliding with it. But I mean, I don't really blame the game for that. I just like basically try to force an object into another object. But you know, like it runs pretty much perfectly for me. I have like zero problems. It looks amazing. But the PC port version of it, apparently, like this wasn't Rocksteady that did it. It was the same guys that did the PC port of Arkham Origins.
I'll look that up.
They basically were the ones responsible for this, and it's locked to, like on PC, mind you, it's locked to 30 frames per second, which is unheard of for PC. Because the thing is, the reason why a lot of people PC game is so they can get above 30 frames per second. And but the thing is like, I'm not sure if this is true or not. I've heard different things where apparently they only had like 2 months to actually use the port, which I do not think is enough time, considering that like it had to be delayed just to make sure that the game ran as well as it does on the consoles. So they handed it off to a group to I don't know. I think if they were gonna have do it the way they were doing it, they should have delayed the PC port. That way it would have had a better launch. And I don't know how anyone played through that and thought what they had was okay. And so a lot of people are pissed off reasonably and have been using the Steam refund option to refund their copies of Arkham Knight. And even Rocksteady has come out and said, like, and I think Warner Brothers Studios, and they're like, yeah, like, here's the info if you want to go and you want to get a refund, we're going to go. I think, like, Rocksteady is legitimately moving and fixing this now, you know, instead of, like, letting this other team try and fix it. Rocksteady's like, no, you done fucked up. We're going to fix this now. Because it's pretty much just like, if you think about Titanfall, where Respawn did Titanfall for the Xbox One and PC, but the 360 port was done by someone else, you know? So I really wouldn't blame Respawn for a shitty 360 port. I would blame, like, Activision, or, like, whoever was publisher for letting it go out like that. So honestly, I don't blame Rocksteady in this scenario, because the product, because it's not like Assassin's Creed Unity, where, like, the game itself was just buggy and broken on every platform. It's just that there was a bad optimization and a really bad port of the game made. So it's not that the game is bad, it's just that it got a shitty port, but some people aren't differentiating that, and that's what bothers me. Like, a lot of people are saying that the game is shitty and stupid and doesn't look good and all this stuff. I'm like, you're a moron. It looks amazing, you know. And so, like, shit like that has, like, really been bothering me the past day or so. But I mean, I understand why all the PC people are pissed off. The thing is, there's, like, people rocking like $10,000 PCs, and they're just able to get it to run okay, and it still stutters, you know. So when that team did the port, they completely fucked it up. And there's a lot of people that, instead of actually like Steam reviews, instead of actually giving, like, fair reviews and actually saying what is wrong with it, saying, like, oh, well, I'm running into a lot of bugginess, you know, instead of saying that, apparently they're just calling the game shitty itself. And the game isn't shitty. It's that port of it is so badly handled that the game can't actually run the way it's supposed to. But be that as it may, I'm about, like, 23% into the game, and I mean, like, I really like it. I think the voicing is really good. I really love the voice of the Scarecrow. That actor, like, I love, like, the other stuff because he has a really unique voice. I'm not, like, I don't know, like, there's been some cool moments I've seen so far, but I'm not going to give any spoilers on that because I want people to experience it for themselves. So I don't really, like, I'm kind of struggling on what exactly I want to talk about.
There's not really much we can talk about.
I mean, if you played Arkham City, pretty much mechanics-wise, it works exactly the same. The way the fighting, the combat works, like the dodging, the blocking. They've given you new gadgets. I haven't seen them all yet, but they've given you new gadgets, some new abilities, some things you can do. Like, there's a really cool one where it's like when you're gliding and you do a dive towards the ground. When you hit the ground, if you like hit one of the buttons, basically you can send out, like, a pulse wave to knock everyone down, which is really cool. Because something that we can talk about is the upgrade to the armor. Like, you start the game with sort of like post Arkham City armor, and at one point around the end of it, you get, like, an armor upgrade where it looks, like, really badass, and therefore gives you more abilities and stuff like that. But it looks really, really cool, and it's supposed to work more along with the Batmobile. The Batmobile is probably the biggest, like, new thing in this game. It helps, like, I mean, you can still traverse the city if you want using, like, the Bat Grapple. I mean, they've made it easier too, because where you can, like, really super accelerate when you're hitting the Bat Grapple, or you can, you know, jump in the Batmobile and ride around. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Adam had to remap the button for the battle controls on it. I haven't had to because they haven't bothered me, but you can switch between, like, a regular driving mode and then, like, a battle tank mode where, like, you have, like, rockets and, like, a Vulcan gun to fight these drones and stuff like that, something you probably would have seen in the trailers and things like that. But yeah, it's like, I've had fun with it. Riddler's back again. A lot of his puzzles involve the Batmobile, so they're, like, trying to get the Batmobile really involved. And it seems like the biggest complaint I've actually seen from Batman so far is there's a lot of people that are getting frustrated with the use of the Batmobile. They feel like they have to use it too much. Like, there's an overuse of it, and there's not enough, like, out of the Batmobile segments. But that's not really the case for me. It's just, I mean, they want you to use it to do these things, because it's like, if you're Batman and you have a tank, and you're fighting an army, you're gonna use the tank, you know. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything that you want to really contribute to that we can bounce off of it, because I mean, there's some other things I can talk about, but like I want to see if there's anything you want to talk about.
Most of my problems with the game, like my big problem, one of them is the Batmobile, which I completely agree with the people that are saying that it's overused, which it really is, and I don't really care for the controls all that much. I don't know who the hell's idea it was to have hold L2 be the way to transform into battle mode. They fucked up, because that's the worst possible way you could play with that, at least in my opinion. At least on the PlayStation 4. But I just didn't really care for the way it's crowbarred into every element of the main campaign. It's like you can't go 5 minutes without the Batmobile showing up at some point. And it, to me, because it handles so wonky, and the combat just gets so repetitive and boring after a while, it's like, and you haven't gotten to the, I mean, like, you haven't gotten to, how far are you in the story? Can you pinpoint a spot without spoiling what?
Okay, well, so people already know that you have other characters in the game that you can work with and fight along with at some portions of the game, like Robin, Catwoman, Nightwing. I got to the portion where I just met up with Nightwing, or just after meeting up with Nightwing.
Maybe you might start to agree with me. I don't know, but you might start to agree with me with the whole Batmobile thing when you go more towards the final third of the game. Because that's when I was like, okay, this is kind of irritating a little bit at the beginning, but then it just flies off the fucking rails with the whole Batmobile thing by the last third. And it's like, come on, guys. Like what makes me feel like Batman is not this tank shit where you're constantly just going around and blowing shit up. It's like, I mean, I understand why the Batmobile is here, but I felt like it could have been implemented a lot better in the main campaign, and I feel like the controls could have been tightened, the pursuit mode could have been better, the widening of the roads would have been a lot better. It just feels like
Yeah, I keep running.
Yeah.
Really,
and as much,
and there's so many moments where like because like for the most part there is only like the police and criminals left in the city during the events of this game. There's so many times where I'm like just barreling through chasing someone, and like guys just run into the street that I hit. I'm like, they're dead now. There's no way they're not dead.
The lengths they go to try and explain how people don't die while you're out on the street as the Batmobile is insane. It's like, there is a point where I was chasing this lieutenant in one of their cars, and this isn't a spoiler, this is one of the side missions, where I was chasing a lieutenant in a car, and I slammed into one of his backups, and the car flipped over, flew into the air, and slammed in the middle of the group of this like people just standing on the side of the road, these criminals, and the car just smashed right in the middle of their group. And I'm like, no fucking way they didn't make it out of that alive. There's no goddamn way.
Yeah.
One of my friends said that the car was covered with Nerf, so they were okay. So it's like, come on, guys. Like, this is ridiculous to a certain point where every time it's like, oh, someone shot somebody with the Batmobile, but it's a riot suppressor. Or when they get hit at that speed that it's going, they just get tasered a little bit. And that's like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense, and it does not justify it whatsoever. It's distracting a lot of the times, because you're thinking, wow, this is Batman going around the city and causing probably billions of dollars in property damage, that he's just crashing through the streets like willy-nilly, and it's like, it just does not make me feel like Batman. It feels more like Mad Max than Batman, which is just odd. It's like, it's just weird how anti-Batman it feels using the Batmobile in those situations. So that I didn't really like at all.
Yeah.
Actually, the one part about the Batmobile that I kind of liked was the fact that they actually add a stealth segments to it, where you have to go against these Cobra tanks that you cannot face head on. You actually have to sneak up behind them and shoot their weak point in the back. That I really liked, because you have to constantly be on your toes, and it's like the Predator mode with the hand-to-hand stuff, when you have to go in, take somebody out, and then fly away and try to escape and get to another vantage point. That I really liked. That was actually pretty cool. It's a cool idea. Unfortunately, they overuse it as, oh my god, and I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but it's kind of obvious at this point. Some of the boss battles, particularly towards the end, with the Batmobile, are awful. They are so annoying that it like I made a Facebook post where I said I don't even think I can finish this game because I hate the Batmobile stuff so far. That's what I meant. Like the one of the boss battles I had to do at the end was awful. And this series doesn't have the best reputation as far as boss battles go. But, they were trying in Arkham City. They were even trying in Arkham Origins. It does not work here at all. The way they replaced the real kind of boss battles with these tank boss battles, it was just terrible. I did not like it. Just it was annoying. It was frustrating. It just genuinely made me mad. I didn't like it. Period. What else was there that I'm trying to think of things to talk about that aren't spoilery, because I know you know one thing that I can talk about, but there's just like the majority of it comes from what happens near the ending. So I'm not. Oh, okay. So I did not really care for Gotham City in this one. I don't think it has any of the personality that Arkham Asylum or Arkham City had. You know what I mean? Where it's weird. It's like all the little elements are there, and it's the same team doing it, but it just feels odd. It just feels empty. When it is literally an empty city, but you could at least have a sense of history and.
Well, yeah, because something else that you had is like in Arkham City, it was a space that was pretty full of people because you had like refugees, you had the prisoners, it was like its own like independent little city thing. And Arkham Asylum was, it had all of its prisoners inside too. But this is really just like a city whose only people are left, or who the only people are left, are just criminals and gang lords. And that's pretty much, and then Arkham, the Arkham Knight's army. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, from what I've seen so far, I really haven't seen any like gang warfare or anything. Just sort of, it's like, well, this is the Penguin's territory, this is Two-Face's territory. I might hit that because I really haven't gotten to any bosses yet. But I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I'm really hoping, for the most part, I'm just gliding over stuff, and I mean, occasionally I'll get one of these little things where I pick up on radio transmissions and I just look around and there's just like random thugs on the ground. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just didn't really like. I mean, I liked Arkham City, but to me, it isn't anywhere near as memorable as City or the Asylum, because those have a real sense of history, of presence, of personality. It's like they're characters themselves within the story. And Gotham really just doesn't have that. It's just, to me, it's like the same problem I have with Origins, where it's like it's just a giant city. It looks significantly prettier than Origins, no doubt about it. It looks amazing, but it's just.
Well, what they did with Origins, from what I understand, is they basically took the map for Arkham City and cut parts of it off, and were like,
no,
okay,
what they did is
Origins.
they added a new area, but it was basically the same map as Arkham City, plus a different area. Which, that, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons why I never played it, is because I thought it was not actually associated to the rest of the Batman games. I thought they were just trying to come up with some random prequel to keep people occupied and just keep making money. Until I got to the point when I was playing Arkham Knight and I was running into bosses from, Arkham Origins, and they're like, oh, haven't seen you in years, Batman. Oh. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. God damn it. Because the thing is, I've never had any motivation to play Arkham Origins, because, first of all, I heard that it didn't play as well, that the story really wasn't that great.
My problem with Arkham Origins is that it just feels like the bits of Asylum and City cut out and plopped together in this one thing. It's like...
Well, because they clearly reused a shit ton of assets.
It's right down to some of the boss... They reuse boss battle structures from the original, from the first two, and they just have them in Origins again. Every time I went against a villain in that game, I thought, oh, I've already done this before, and a lot more memorably in Asylum or City.
Yeah. I was also pissed off when I found out for Arkham Origins that the Joker was the villain again, which means that the Joker would have been the main villain 3 times in a row in those games. Which I'm just so glad that Joker is actually legitimately dead. Let's move on. But it's just like, I don't feel like I'm ever going to touch that game. I don't think I'm going to touch Origins. I don't think I'm going to do it. Yeah. Yeah, because the thing is, like, any context for these characters, well, I don't want to mention the characters in case, like, someone doesn't know they're in the game or not, but some of these characters, I feel like I can just kind of, like, go and look up a codex entry or some shit like that.
Okay,
just kind of, like,
we can mention
watch some gameplay of Arkham
Firefly.
Origins.
He's in the trailers.
Okay.
So Firefly he was one of the big villains in Origins, and he had a really crappy boss battle in that game, too. It's basically the same boss battle as the Poison Ivy one in Asylum. So it's like, alright, well, he's back, and they recognize each other, so I guess that means Origins is canon. So I was like, alright, well, whatever. Okay, it's fine. And they do that with other villains, too, that you haven't seen yet. So...
Yeah. Something else is, the side missions are actually kind of really different this time, because I won't specify what they are, but I mean, you have your main quest, and then you'll get these Riddler missions, and then you'll have, like, basically a mission menu where if you hit, like, right on the D-pad, it'll bring up a list of, like, basically a wheel of mission types that you can do. And some of the base ones are kind of like, oh, save some firefighters, take down lieutenants, get rid of the Arkham Knight's army, like, installations around the city and stuff like that. And there's other ones, too. I'm not going to mention them yet, and I haven't even unlocked all of them, or all the different kinds yet. But sort of as you go along, you have, like, these different kind of things. Like, one cool thing is there's, like bodies that you'll find, and you'll have to, like, inspect them and use the detective mode to find shit out like that. And then... they're kind of like cool little side missions. I had one moment where I just, like, jumped. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but freaked me out. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just finished examining a dead body, and I jumped up on something, and then something popped out at my face. I was like, ah!
There's quite a few, especially towards the end. There's quite a bit of jump scares in this. I don't know, like, I think, like, half of the side missions I found interesting, and the other half I was just like, ugh, this is tedious, and it's just kind of boring.
Well, I mean, like, the ones like Rescue the Firefighters are obviously just going to be like, just get it done, that kind of thing. But I liked the... I like the
murder mystery one. I like that. And that has a really interesting ending, that side quest.
Yeah. And, something else is, God, what was I going to say? Oh, crap. I need to collect my thoughts for a second. Has it gone? I don't know if my thought is gone. Jar Jar Binks.
That's who he is. The Arkham Jar Jar Binks. Sorry, everybody, we spoiled that for you. I'm sorry, Eric. I had to tell you.
I can't remember if I was wanting to talk more about the missions, or if it was, like, something else.
Can I add something? 'Cause I can think of something. One of my problems, another big problem I have with this game, is that while I like the story, and I think the story goes to some interesting places, I feel like the campaign itself, the way it's structured and what you have to do in it, really gets boring after a while. The only thing that keeps you going is the story. where I feel like I don't even know if I want to play it again. Like I've been through Arkham City multiple times on multiple different difficulties, and I like the campaign because it's has a different kind of diversity. It's like you encounter all these different.
Well, Arkham City has a lot of different
Yeah.
stuff going on for it. And the thing is, a lot of the side missions you run across are just kind of like shit you run into, like the Mad Hatter one. But the thing is, like, these side missions are just kind of like under categories where it's like save firefighters, find bodies. You know, it feels like they've like they've like it's like this is the style of this kind of side mission instead of just being kind of like different side missions. I mean, that's the only thing that I could see that kind of like might bother me. Oh yeah, I remembered. Like on the PS4, like these Scarecrow Nightmare missions. Apparently, they're like AR altered reality missions or something where you play from the main menu. And I'm just like, oh, so it's not sort of like just an extra side quest that you just kind of go and do.
You remind me of something else that I wanted to talk about. Okay, but
oh, is it the other playable characters like the Arkham stories or
those are
whatever
crap.
they're called?
Those are dude, I don't even know if I want the season pass now. I don't even know if I want the Batgirl shit. Because if the Batgirl thing is going to be like this, oh god, no, I don't want that. Because the way, there's the Red Hood one, and then there's the Harley Quinn one. Both of them are the exact same thing. It's, you go in, it's divided into 3 areas. The first part is combat. Second part, stealth. Third part, boss battle with some more combat in it. That's pretty much what it is. Both of them you can beat in 15 minutes or less. They are easy as hell, and they are so anticlimactic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is generally I've always stayed away from the DLC for the Batman games because for the most part they're always challenge maps, and I don't really care about the challenge maps.
The only ones that I've liked are Harley Quinn's Revenge, which is the final DLC for Arkham City, and then
I never played that one.
It was all right. Then
what pretty much
it was set like a few weeks after the ending of Arkham City. Harley Quinn's trying to reactivate her gang again and get revenge for the Joker's death. And then the other one I really liked was the Joker shit in Arkham Asylum, when you actually get to play as the Joker in stealth and combat areas. And that was fun, because of course...
Oh, was that like a PlayStation
Mark Hamill's
exclusive?
Great. I mean, Mark Hamill is amazing as the Joker. It's like, who wouldn't want...
Was it just like him causing havoc?
Yeah.
And
it's not really a story thing, it's just the side mission. It's like the challenge stuff. There's significantly less Predator and free-flow combat stuff in this game, which is really disappointing. Significantly less compared to City and Asylum. I don't even know what the hell, there's maybe 4 of each that I've seen so far. And I'm like, really, guys? What the hell did you... Oh, you did less because of the Batmobile. Great. So that's another reason why I don't really like the Batmobile. Because they took out a lot of the Batman hand-to-hand free flow and Predator stuff for Batmobile shit. Which, hooray. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've played through it enough to where I can give a final, my final thoughts on it. Like I've said, I like it, and I think it's. What's tough is I don't think it's worth $60 at this point. I think it's better if people wait for the Game of the Year edition or something. It's not like Witcher 3, where I spent $150 on that thing because I got the collector's edition, and I felt like it was worth every penny. I spent $100 on the limited edition for the Batman stuff, and I just felt like the game itself was not worth it. But once the Game of the Year edition comes out, and it's like $40 or $50, which will be, I don't know, maybe a year from now, I feel like then it would be worth it if you can actually avoid the spoilers, which I understand, because they're going to be everywhere. They already are everywhere on the internet. It's like you can't even type in Arkham Knight on Google without coming across a big spoiler for the game. So, I don't know. I just thought it's all right. I mean, I like it. I think it's an interesting game, and there are certain brilliant moments in it, individual moments. It's just the overall product is not anywhere close to Asylum, and especially City. In fact, I might like Origins more. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I might actually like Origins a little bit more. But I don't know. What's weird is, like, I'd like to, like, a lot of my problems with, like, some of my big problems with Knight are the exact same problems I have with Origins. And part of my problems with Arkham Knight are also the exact same problems I have with The Dark Knight Rises, which is really odd. It reminds me a lot of The Dark Knight Rises. I don't know how you...
Yeah, the stuff going on with the Scarecrow reminds me of the stuff Joker was doing. I immediately was like thinking like,
which I wish I could talk about, like, one of the things, because you already... Oh, okay. How about this? Alright, so I'm going to tell you one of my big problems with that, but you already know. But for the people out there that want to avoid this, spoiler alert, do not listen to the remainder of this podcast, because I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to save this for the end. So people have listened to it. You know, thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Yeah. Okay, spoiler alert. Okay.
Bye.
So for people out there still here don't really care, or they already know. Okay, as much as I love Mark Hamill, I love Mark Hamill to death. I think he's the best Joker ever. What bothers me is that he's in the game so much as a hallucination, to the point where his death feels significantly less impactful at the end of City, because I know he's going to be a knight so much. And it's like this series is scared to have villains in the spotlight without the Joker being around. It's like they can't allow any other villain to be... And it's the exact same problem I had with Origins, where they built up Black Mass to be this really scary, intimidating villain, and then he's just a fucking chump. And the Joker is the real guy behind the whole thing. And it's like, why the fuck would you do that? It's like I know you guys love the Joker. I love the Joker. He's my favorite villain ever. But I'm tired of the Joker. I want new villains to have a name for themselves in this series, not just the Joker. And, like, Scarecrow and the Arkham Knight, they're not written all that... I mean, the voice acting for both of them is good, especially the Scarecrow. He's fucking terrifying. But, I just feel like they're not given enough to work with compared to the Joker. Again, it's the Joker pushing all the other villains aside and going, hey, it's me, it's the Joker show again.
But the thing is, it's part of Batman's personality, though. It's like... It's like him conflicting with himself.
They use the Joker so much to where, and it makes sense, but it just bothers me because it's the same thing that happens in Origins, just in a different way. And
well, because the whole thing that if you look at it like I'm trying to think of the correct word for this, objectively, the whole Arkham's storylines that they've made or framed so far are about the Batman and the Joker.
I knew they were going to do something with the Joker. I knew Mark Hamill was going to be in this. I just had a gut feeling that he was, but I was not.
Frankly, it doesn't bother me in the least.
It doesn't ruin the game for me. It's just a problem I have with it, like, because he's great. I mean, there's so many great moments with the Joker in the game. But again, it just significantly lessens the impact of his death in City. Now that I know that the Joker's in it the entire time, well, almost the entire time.
Well, no, but like the thing is, he's not in it though. Like he's
the entire time, and it's like, wow. So I don't feel any kind of.
Well, like not for me, because I know I'm not gonna have the Joker popping out around a corner and trying to murder me. Like, he's like the Joker, and yet he's not the Joker. Because if you think about it, he's a figment of the fear gas. So in reality, the Joker is the Batman subconscious dealing with a lot of these issues. Because even like the inside details that basically Joker's like, oh man, this is how I felt when this happened. It's not. It's either how the Batman would conceive the Joker to feel, or the Batman's own feelings about the situation.
And like I said, I understand that, and I like it on that level. I like it on a story level. On a story level, it makes absolute sense. It provides something interesting for Batman to work with. It gives some kind of framework to the story. But in the way that it affects everything else, to where it affects the other villains in the story. Because, like, no way they're gonna stand up to the Joker. There's no fucking way you're gonna have Scarecrow and Arkham Knight hold even a minute of a candle to the Joker. There's no way. So it's basically like they're.
I don't really see what you're talking about
okay.
here.
I don't know how to put this, but
like, are you talking about it like in an aspect where because the Joker's around with his personality,
it just makes everything else everything else seem insignificant. That's what it means. And I understand that there's still a genuine threat with the Scarecrow and the Arkham Knight, but they are they do not make the appearances that they should in this game, where they.
So you're feeling that instead of like the time that's spent doing stuff with like the Joker hallucination, that they could have spent more time doing like character developments with the Arkham Knight or Scarecrow.
That's a big part of it. Thank you. Well, thank you, because I didn't know how to put that. And another thing that bothers me. Actually, no, I probably shouldn't say that because that's a big spoiler. Well, I don't know. It's probably an indirect spoiler, but I feel like, I don't know, and it makes sense. I don't know. It's just, it makes sense to have the Joker in it. It gives something interesting, but it has this overall effect on everything else in the series and in this game, where it's like, because the Joker is a presence in Arkham Knight, his death at the end of City just is it's kind of like they ruined their own ballsy thing to do, where it's like, and I feel like because the Joker is in it again, they can just rely on him again without making the effort to, you can try to make you can have the Joker appear every so often. You can have the Joker be a hallucination towards the end. But the way they do it in this game, and the way they crowbar it in, which they kind of do, their explanation for him being in it is just kind of like, that's like, all right, oh, okay. It's like, it just undermines a lot of the other work, at least what I thought they were going to do with the Scarecrow and with the Arkham Knight. And especially poor Scarecrow, because, like, Scarecrow's undergone, like, a complete transformation. He looks different. He has a scary new voice. So I was thinking, okay, cool. He's going to be the new big villain of the game. And they're going to write him in a way he's going to be scary. He's going to be the constant threat the whole time. But no, they just turn him into Hugo Strange again, where all he does is just, he makes certain, like not that many physical appearances. You just hear his voice the entire time. And it's like, oh, not this again. Or it's like, come on, guys. You can have the Scarecrow do other things to Batman besides make him hallucinate the Joker. It's like, you can have him do that. And then the Arkham Knight, who's really like okay, I'm not gonna mention the Arkham Knight, because that's, if I even say one thing about the Arkham Knight, it's a big spoiler. So I just don't think they do anything interesting with the Arkham Knight. At least nothing that I haven't seen before in this series. They just have the Arkham Knight do things that I've seen other villains do in this series before, and it's like, it just did not wow me like City did. I mean, yes, there are individual moments that I was like, holy shit, this is fucking fantastic. But the overall story is not that compelling compared to City or Asylum, and somewhat to Origins to a degree. Which Origins, say what you will about Origins, it had a really good story. Really good. But I just think Arkham Knight might be the weakest story out of all of them, like, overall. Just, I don't know. It's like, well, I do know. What am I talking about? I don't know. I do know. I do think this is the weakest story out of all of them. And to get more into it would be spoiler territory for you. So, I don't want... That's the last thing that I want to do. It's just... Yeah, I mean, I was genuinely disappointed by the game. I was. I was just... And I like it, but I don't love it anywhere near as much as I thought I would. Which is really... sad, which makes me sad, because I was really expecting this to be like the big grand finale that I was hoping The Dark Knight Rises would be for the Nolan trilogy, and I feel like they make the exact same mistakes, which is just mind-boggling for me. It's like they really they tiptoe the line of having like some really ballsy things, but then they never go all the way with it, or they never really make it feel satisfying, which is the shitty part. But anyway, I like as far as like the battle between The Witcher 3, because I thought it would be a big tough call between The Witcher 3 and Arkham Knight. Oh my god, Witcher 3 is so much better. Witcher 3 does everything better than Arkham Knight does, except the villain part, which the villain in Witcher 3 is just, it's okay. But anyway, now that I've gone on my rant, well, not really a rant, just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I just was disappointed by it. I don't know. Maybe we should revisit this once you've beaten the story, because I think we could talk more about the problem, the deeper problems I have with it when you know more about the story.
Yeah, we can do that.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, are you enjoying the game so far? Are you like really?
No, I'm really liking the game so far.
That's good. I mean, yeah, it's good. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, was there anything else you wanted to talk about briefly or anything like that?
Not particularly. I mean, we're already at the we're almost at the 2-hour mark right now.
Anyway,
so I mean, there's nothing really else we can talk about Batman other than I heard that there was like a tentative re-release for the PC version in the fall. So
really?
I mean, that might just that doesn't mean that it's going to release in the fall. That just means that they're saying that by the fall.
Wow. Oh wow.
So I mean, like that doesn't mean that that's going to be the case. I mean, it might only take them like maybe like a month or more, or a couple months, but we'll see what happens.
Wow.
For the moment, PS4 is the best place to play Batman. But I mean, it runs just fine on the Xbox One also. I was over at my friend's house yesterday, and he was playing it, and I mean, it still looked perfectly fine and played just fine. So it was a case of just a really bad PC port, people not knowing what the hell they were doing, or either that or they were rushed, and it shouldn't have been released at all.
They really should have delayed the PC port. I mean, maybe this is why. I don't know. Everybody complains about them delaying the last gen ports for Mortal Kombat X. But I don't know if it was like this, because particularly because they outsourced it. It's like, yeah, maybe that was a good thing that they delayed it, because it probably would have come out to be shit. So, yeah. Anyway. Alrighty. Well, hope you guys enjoyed listening to, oh man, dude, my voice hurts from talking about Jurassic World.
Yeah.
So much. Well, I'm gonna go drink some water now and probably put in the throat lozenges. Oh, I need to eat. That's another thing. I haven't eaten lunch yet. So I'm hungry as a motherfucker.
Alright. I mean, did you cut the recording already? Or are you still going? Yeah, okay. You kind of veered off there.
I'm hungry as a motherfucker. That's the final note from me, at least.
Remember, everyone, life finds a way. Even if it's shitty
even if it's a
poorly
big
CGI'd.
dinosaur-shaped shit. Anyway. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good one, guys.
Take care.